So Labor Day is coming up this Monday. The first Monday of every September is Labor Day. It's the day that we celebrate the hard work of all the men and women who helped build this country and make it great. A lot of people look forward to Labor Day because it means you get an extra long weekend to relax, unwind, and have a little bit of fun. Not everyone feels so fondly about Labor Day, however, and one individual in particular is not particularly looking forward to it. So in this video, Steven Crowder is going to explain to us why Labor Day as a holiday is a bad idea. Let's get into it. So this is a bit of an interesting aesthetic he's going for in this video. He's wearing what appears to be a bathrobe, sitting in a leather chair with a fireplace in the background, smoking a cigar, in a sort of dimly lit looking room. I'm not sure why Crowder was going for the whole Hugh Hefner look here, but alright, it's interesting.
Oh, hello there. Allow me to express an unpopular opinion for a moment, if I may.
Allow me to express that I never really wanted to see Steven Crowder's chest hair, but here we are.
Labor Day, as a national holiday, is a scam, and I hate it.
Nigga, what?
What? Labor Day is a scam? How can a holiday be a scam? Like what, is Halloween a scam because kids go around trying to bum free candy off of people?
No, I'm not going to try and steal your get-out-of-work-free day.
You know, there's more to Labor Day than just having a day off of work. Labor Day is about celebrating the working class. Carpenters, welders, plumbers, electricians, mechanics, all the people who work hard to keep our country running and make it a better place.
You can rest easy enjoying your barbecue and beer while your boss ultimately picks up the slack to keep your pay stubs coming.
Hey Crowder, you know that the boss usually gets off Labor Day too, right? I've never heard of a workplace anywhere where the employees get to take off Labor Day but not the boss.
And all because some arbitrary holiday was...
Well, yeah, I mean, all holidays are created. Holidays are a construct of society and culture. They don't exist in nature. Like decorated trees don't appear in everybody's living room every December 25th because of physics. And who gets to decide what makes a holiday arbitrary? I mean, they're all kind of arbitrary if you think about it. I mean, Easter went from being about slaughtering lambs and rubbing their blood on your front door to a magical bunny handing out colored eggs and chocolate.
was marketed to celebrate the working class.
Well, I mean, yeah, why not have a holiday celebrating the working class? Why is that a bad thing? The working class are literally the backbone of this country. They make everything function. Crowder, imagine having to do your show without any cameramen, any editors, any scriptwriters, any lighting engineers. It would probably be a lot harder for you, wouldn't it?
And you now feel entitled to it.
Yeah, how dare working class people who work their fingers to the bone so our economy can function feel entitled to a little bit of time to relax and have fun? What a bunch of greedy bastards, am I right?
It's a poor excuse for picking a man's pocket every first Monday of September.
Hey pal, you just blowing from Stupid Town?
He just described taking off for Labor Day as picking a man's pocket. He literally thinks that people are stealing from their boss by taking off for Labor Day somehow, even though that boss is allowing them to take off and is most likely taking off as well. Crowder's biggest problem with Labor Day seems to be that people take off work for it. What about other holidays people get off work for? You know that Labor Day isn't the only holiday people get off work for. Are people also stealing from their boss when they take off for Thanksgiving, Christmas, 4th of July? What about Veterans Day? People get off work for Veterans Day. I mean, conservatives like Crowder worship the military, so it's not really likely that Crowder would be willing to bash Veterans Day.
Seeing as I'm apparently the only one who knows that around here, allow me to explain my opinion.
Please do, because thus far your entire argument seems to be Labor Day bad because working class people get a little bit of time to relax.
Now, Labor Day was created at a rare moment in history where unions actually served a purpose beyond bitching about six-figure benefit packages and determining which other members' tires they'd slash because of bullshit card check voting.
So unions aren't perfect. There are some problems with them. However, both historically and to this day, unions have done a lot of good in advocating for and increasing the well-being of workers.
See, that's because the Industrial Revolution, unlike the Agricultural Revolution which preceded it, resulted in an economy with a select few people at the top and then a manual labor class in the factories who were working very long hours just to squeak out a living, sometimes 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, notice that was an actual moment in history, unlike the fabricated one today.
Steven Crowder seems to be arguing that unions are a relic of the industrial age and aren't really necessary today. That couldn't be further from the truth. While it's true that the well-being and work conditions of the average worker have improved significantly since the industrial era, which is thanks in large part to unions, by the way, there are still many places in the world today where workers aren't exactly treated the best. There are third world countries where sweatshops with child labor are the norm, and even here in the United States, companies like Amazon have been notorious for working their employees to the bone and not even giving them bathroom breaks. These are areas where significant union involvement could make a difference.
From entitled leftist socialists who bitch that the American dream is more out of reach than ever because they might have to work a double shift at their retail job to pay off their gender studies degree that they think the taxpayer should ultimately subsidize.
Red herring.
Hey Crowder, what does this have to do with Labor Day, like at all? Like, yeah, I agree. People putting themselves in massive amounts of debt because they decided to go to school for a worthless degree and expecting the taxpayers to bail them out of it is in fact a problem, but I don't see what that has to do with Labor Day.
Also, notice that I said manual laborers and not working class. Because the idea that someone who owns that factory, or today someone who owns a business or happens to be an independent contractor, is not working is absurd, insulting, and ironically, anti-intellectual.
Nobody's saying that business owners don't work. Yeah, of course business owners work hard. Their hard work and labor has contributed to the betterment of our country as much as anyone else's. That's why Labor Day is for them too.
Think about it. The only difference between a lawyer, a doctor, an investor, or independent business owner, and the working class, as is the current nomenclature, is that the former simply work with their minds instead of their bodies. Does that mean that their work is any less valuable?
Mr. Strawman, give me a break.
Yeah, I've never heard anyone argue that work that's more cerebral in nature is inherently less valuable than work that's more physical in nature. Like, I've never even heard Marxists or socialists make that argument. I think he's just making shit up to argue against at this point. Also, doctors, lawyers, and investors do also work. Therefore, they're part of the working class, and therefore also get to enjoy Labor Day. Like what? Is there a rule somewhere that says that only people who do physical labor are allowed to enjoy Labor Day?
I thought the left had the corner on intelligentsia.
Apparently they do, since you're sitting there bashing a holiday you don't even know anything about.
Or does that only apply to modern humanities majors who posit theories and philosophies that needn't yield results in the real world?
I hate to break it to you, Crowder, but that's kind of what you're doing right now. You're sitting there bashing Labor Day without any sort of understanding of what Labor Day is or what it's meant to celebrate, claiming that Labor Day somehow disadvantages employers and business owners without citing any sort of evidence as to why that's the case. Sorry to break it to you, Crowder, but right now you're positing ideas that need not any basis in reality.
But hey, that just mirrors Marxism to a T.
Oh yeah, workers getting one measly day off out of the year is totally a Marxist thing. You see, the reason we give workers off Labor Day is to give them time so they can all meet up and plan how they're going to overthrow their oppressive bosses. Like at every Labor Day party, they unfurl the hammer and sickle flag and blast the Soviet Union anthem on full volume. Crowder, get a grip.
After all, what gives the working class or proletariats the rights to have the government violently seize businesses and means of production from others outside of the fact that the very cerebral work required to create it in the first place is simply not valued in a communist society?
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Hey Crowder, you mind if I ask what the fuck you're talking about? He starts off with this whole straw man about how mental labor isn't valued as much as physical labor. Then he goes off on all these complete tangents about Marxism and the government seizing private businesses. Like, who's talking about the government seizing private businesses? You brought that up, Crowder. Nobody else brought that up.
While we're speaking of value, let's go back to the value of time. Again, today, most Americans are horrified to learn that in the time of the Industrial Revolution, many people were working 12-hour days without breaks. Because in the age of today, the average 34-hour work week, who would ever consider putting themselves through that?
The reason we have an average 34-hour work week in this country is because there's been an influx of part-time high school and college kids entering the workforce, thus skewing the data in one particular direction. For a lot of Americans, working 2 or 3 jobs, totaling 70 to 80 hours a week, isn't uncommon. But even if it was the case that most people only worked a 34-hour work week, well, so what? Is giving them one day off out of the year still the end of the world?
And that's where we come full circle. Today, while you enjoy your melanoma and corn beer, there are still plenty of people who work those kinds of hours without the benefit of a labor union. They're called business owners.
Yeah, employees get certain advantages that business owners don't. But guess what? The inverse of that is also true. Business owners also get some perks that regular employees don't enjoy. They get to set their own schedule, they get to make decisions for the business, they get to keep a bigger chunk of the profit. Yeah, there are certain advantages that employees get that business owners don't, but the inverse is just as equally true.
You know, the people you'll inevitably find time to vilify today between your hot dog eating contest and waking up in a boozy puddle of your own filth on some stranger's lawn.
Who's vilifying business owners? I can't speak on behalf of anyone else, but personally, when I celebrate Labor Day, I'm grilling food on a barbecue, having beer with my friends. I'm not sitting there vilifying anybody. The only person vilifying anyone here is you, since you think workers are these horrible, greedy people for just wanting one day off a year to go out, get drunk, and be a bunch of degenerates. So this is projection on your part.
Because while you were taking the day off to play drunken lawn darts, they were likely working to make sure that the lights are still on.
Is there some kind of rule somewhere that says business owners aren't allowed to enjoy Labor Day? You know, a lot of business owners will close their business on Labor Day and take the day off too, or even close a little bit early so that way people can go home in time to enjoy their festivities. You know, it's funny, when you look in the comment section in this video, you see a lot of people saying, "Hey, I'm a boss, I'm a business owner, and I enjoy Labor Day too." One interesting thing I've noticed about the comment section in this video is that there is not a single solitary positive comment anywhere, which means that even Crowder's conservative fans were like, yeah, this is nonsense.
Someone has to make sure that you can find your way when you tardily stumble in on Tuesday looking for the Alka-Seltzer.
Is this how Steven Crowder actually thinks people spend Labor Day? Hearing him describe how working class people celebrate Labor Day sounds like he's describing a college frat party. Most people on Labor Day are just having a barbecue, spending time with their friends or family. They might have a couple beers, but chances are they're not going to get totally trashed. But even if people were getting drunk off their ass, so what? It's their day off, they're allowed to spend it however they want. If your problem with Labor Day is that there's people getting drunk and debauchery going on, well then you better get rid of New Year's, Mardi Gras, and Halloween too. Also, what about big corporate executives? When they fly across the globe on their big fancy jets, going to their big fancy corporate executive meetings and events, you think they're not partying and getting drunk?
Listen, enjoy your silly day off and have fun.
Yeah, enjoy your day off. I'm going to shame and belittle you for having it, but enjoy it anyways.
My only point here is that Labor Day just highlights the gross mass generalizations that come from the left in the 21st century.
Huh, that's funny because I'm a right conservative leaning person and I celebrate Labor Day.
Even though they accuse the right of being racist at every opportunity possible.
So again, this is a valid criticism, but it has nothing to do with Labor Day.
It is they who exclusively separate and view people through the prism of sex, race, age, and yes, socioeconomic status. This classism is just another way to divide and conquer, turn brother against brother.
That's exactly what you're doing, Stephen. By trying to make this bizarre argument that bosses and business owners can't celebrate Labor Day, you're engaging in classism and creating a sense of us versus them. Like what you just accused the left of doing is exactly what you've been doing this entire video.
And to make you think that you're somehow owed something that only Big Brother can provide.
You know that the government doesn't mandate that private business owners give their employees time off for Labor Day, right? I mean, the government does mandate it internally. Federal workers and contractors get Labor Day off by law. But in most cases, when employees in the private sector get off for Labor Day, it's because the business owner decided to voluntarily provide that. You know, if Labor Day was so oppressive to bosses and business owners, why is it that those bosses and business owners not only voluntarily choose to let their workers take off for Labor Day, but also take off Labor Day themselves?
So, enjoy your Labor Day, and enjoy your weekends off and 8-hour work days for that matter. And yes, like you'll see in all the social media trends today, you can in part thank a union for those luxuries.
Unions have actually given us a lot of the benefits we enjoy at work. 8-hour work days, 40-hour work weeks, extra pay for overtime, weekends off, holidays off, safety standards. If you want to learn why exactly it is that unions are important, Google the Triangle Factory Fire. Unions also serve another important purpose. You see, Crowder here is a conservative, which means he's most likely against government regulations. One thing that conservatives and us libertarians tend to agree on is that we want the government to stay out of the economy. If workers are able to protect themselves or advocate for their own interests at work, which is exactly what unions enable, then there's less of a need for the government to get involved. Which would you rather have, Crowder? Employees paying union dues out of their own paychecks? Or big bureaucracies like OSHA helping themselves to your paycheck?
Just know that they're afforded to you because of someone who enjoys none of them. Someone who doesn't have a standard weekend and has likely gone years of working tireless hours and borrowing money just to make payroll.
Yes, it's true that business owners typically work harder than the other employees, but they also make more money and have more decision-making power. It's not like business owners are just slogging away doing all this extra work for no advantages whatsoever. I mean, if that were the case, then everyone would be an employee and nobody would be a business owner.
So, okay, for your time off, benefits, and silly little end of summer holiday, thank a union. As for your job and the ability to provide for you and yours, thank a business owner.
Are those mutually exclusive? Can I not be thankful both to the business owner for providing me an opportunity to earn a living and a union which protects my rights while doing so? Because unions are businesses. I mean, they take a fee and provide a service in return. They're structured into different management levels, so unions do operate very much like a business. And while it is true that workers couldn't earn a living that they do without the business owner, this dependency is mutual. The business owner couldn't operate their business without people working for them. So while the employees could thank the business owner for giving them the opportunity to earn a living, the business owner could just as much thank their employees for working for them. All of us owe the working class in this country a huge thanks, because they're the backbone of our economy. The server this video is being stored on, the device you're playing it back with, and the vast network infrastructure that connects the two were all made possible by workers. Our country simply couldn't operate without them. It's for this reason that I believe that having one day out of the year to celebrate the accomplishments of the working class, as well as give them an opportunity to relax, that business owners are also welcome to enjoy, isn't asking too much. How do you guys plan on celebrating Labor Day? Let me know in the comments. I plan on having a barbecue with my friends, but let me know what you plan on doing. This has been Philosophossum making stupidity play dead. Until next time, take care, enjoy your Labor Day, everyone.